I would like to tell you that you are fortunate to have such a fantastic speaker. Michael Shaw is going to talk to you. He is legendary. Michael Shaw's freedomadvocates.org is a lifeline to those of us who are fighting United Nations Agenda 21 across the world. This is an international movement that you're part of. And Michael Shaw has been a tremendous, tremendous resource. It's a gift that he gives us. His website is fantastic. If you haven't been to it, freedomadvocates.org. Michael's a great speaker. He puts paid to the concept that there are no source documents, that this is a fantasy, that this is something that is a figment of our imaginations. He has the facts, the sources, the truth is all available to you. We have source documents on our websites. This is not something that we're, making up. And Michael Shaw is able to document all of this and put it together for you, and he's going to do that for you now. Michael Shaw, thank you.
I'm going to talk first about the Association of Bay Area Governments, ABAG. You can see the state having been divided into these various regions that have nothing to do with county lines or city boundaries. This is how government really operates in California. ABAG is outlined on the screen. Now, the Association of Bay Area Governments, these 9 counties, ABAG is the regional planning agency for those 9 counties and 101 cities. ABAG's planning and service programs, this is their words, not mine, work to address the regional, economic, social, and environmental challenges. So you see the 3 E's there. They substitute the word social for equity. ABAG is running your city. It controls major zoning decisions, infrastructure decisions, and more. Now, the Focus organization is led by ABAG. It includes the Metropolitan Transportation Commission, another regional governance operation, the Bay Area Air Quality Management District, and the Bay Conservation and Development Commission. Now, this happens in partnership, that's how they describe it, with local governments throughout the Bay Area. Now, Focus has held stakeholder forums related to the 3 E's, environment, economy, and equity. Again, this was lifted from their website. Regional planning is a very major tax spending investment. It is an investment in central planning. Now, how many are aware that ABAG is now in the power business? The ABAG energy programs partner with ABAG Green Communities. This is a partnership with PG&E. The same devils appear all the time. Energy Upgrade California, the Department of Energy Better Buildings Program, and the Electric Vehicle Project. Regionalism in action. Now ABAG is in the power business. What kind of service do you think you're going to get? The answer is shortage by design. In fact, this is another ABAG website, the Energy Conservation section of the ABAG endeavor. And I'll just point to one line on this website. It says, when the power goes out. You see, if you don't conserve, the power is going to go out. If you do conserve, the power is going to go out. We need to expose solutions other than the 2 presented by ABAG if we don't want the power to go out. Now, water policy is following the same smart approach. Service Matters. This is a magazine put out by ABAG. It's a completed greenhouse gas inventories. Reading from this, it says the Greenhouse Gas Inventory Assistance is part of the Green Communities Program, a joint effort of ABAG and PG&E, funded by ratepayers through the California PUC. 9 cities in the North Bay have already joined this ABAG program. We see in the second paragraph, they say that working together, ABAG and ICLEI are able to assist these jurisdictions in their completion of greenhouse gas inventories. So, they're going to do all of this by monitoring individuals and households. You say, well, how are they going to monitor us? Smart meters. You know, the issue on smart meters may be a health issue. I'm not sure. But it's definitely a monitoring issue. And that's what the focus needs to be in an attack on smart meter development. It is smart meters is the reason why utility bills are in the midst of a rapidly advancing unit costs. As a next step, ABAG, ICLEI, and PG&E are preparing local governments for community-wide greenhouse gas emission inventories. That means they're going to measure every citizen's greenhouse gas emissions, every household. And this program is expected to start next January. We've got to remember, ICLEI is a foreign UN-related political organization. It's necessary that we expose ICLEI, get out of ABAG, you know. The federal legislation makes joining ABAG a voluntary local decision. So far, every ounce of American land is subject to these regional outfits. Interesting, this week, Santa Cruz County's members of ABAG, we have a different group down there, ABAG, the cities have decided to withdraw from ABAG because they want ABAG's money directly. It's good that ABAG gets the applause for hitting the road, but the bad news is in Santa Cruz, nothing legitimate is being attempted here. It's just that the participants in ABAG want their money directly and don't want it siphoned off by the ABAG organization. We need to kick these MPOs and COGs, though, out of our community for the right reason. So, get out of ABAG, up here, I'm sorry, and work to disband PG&E's governing authority. Those running PG&E are working for the globalists. Now let's talk about ICLEI locally. Jed Brugman is the founder of ICLEI. He says, the UN will become the United Cities of the world. These are the ICLEI members in the San Francisco Bay Area. San Francisco Bay Area is the most concentrated collection of ICLEI members in the world. You hardly find a city here in the Bay Area that's not a member of ICLEI. How many people know this woman? She's a board member of ICLEI USA. She's the co-chair for climate communities. Climate communities are all over the country now under ICLEI. She's part of these regional outfits, the Sonoma County Transportation Authority, the Agricultural Preservation and Open Space District, we're going to talk more about that later, and the Bay Conservation Development Commission. This is a partial list of Super Brown's affiliations, but this woman is a driving force in Sonoma County for the implementation of sustainable development. It's a little tough to see at the top. This is the Bay Area Alliance for Sustainable Communities. The Bay Area Alliance for Sustainable Communities is one of 8 related Bay Area Soviets that exist to implement Agenda 21 locally. You can see on the Left-hand column, you know, they've got the 3E perspectives built in here. Down in the last full paragraph, they talk about the compact for a sustainable Bay Area. Politicians are trained to do what NGOs like the Bay Area Alliance for Sustainable Development tell them to do. We need a new crop of politicians. It's not just Sharon Brown, it is your entire Board of Supervisors. It's the entire San Francisco Bay Area's cadre of elected officials. They've all got to be replaced. This is the American hotbed for Agenda 21.
More coal.
I don't know. Now, there's a pretty clear connection between these two organizations that bring sustainable development to Agenda 21 locally. At the top, we see the Association of Bay Area Governments, and they advertise for the Bay Area Alliance for Sustainable Communities. Now, the Bay Area Alliance established baselines and a system to collect and update data, publish reports on that data, create a repository of sustainability data. That means information on each of you. The inaugural report, the Bay Area Indicators, measures progress toward sustainability. This is an organization that's taken some attention from people in this audience, and that's a great thing because one Bay Area means exactly what it says. It's going to take the 9 counties and put it under a single governance apparatus. You might notice over on the right side they talk about the plan. One Bay Area is supported by 4 other regional governance organizations. It's supported by the Association of Bay Area Governments, ABAG, the Federal Bay Area Metropolitan Transportation Commission, the Bay Area Quality Management District, and the Bay Conservation and Development Commission. All extra-constitutional regional governance apparatus. And we wonder why America is falling. Now, the One Bay Area is an outrageous plan for the Bay Area's 9 counties. The people in the Bay Area are waking up. This wake-up should become a firestorm. The plan is the Bay Area's primary Agenda 21 guidebook, just like the local Agenda 21 guidebook that infests Santa Cruz. It is made to look so benign, but you can come to understand the meaning of the terms and monitor these programs. Then you can ask yourself what it is that you can do about it. The globalist vision is government-controlled housing, getting people out of their cars, comprehensive control over human action, while jamming people like sardines in order to make them into slaves. This is all in accordance with Agenda 21 sustainability policy and objectives. Now let's take a look at an excerpt from the United Nations Agenda 21. Chapter 7, regarding human settlements, has a section that promotes transport systems. Now the organizations of the UN system, which includes all the NGOs roaming around Sonoma County, should, according to Agenda 21, promote the comprehensive planning approach. Talk a bit about that in a moment. Encourage development that reduces transport demand. You see that in Sonoma, you see that in California. Adopt programs favoring high occupancy public transport. Encourage non-motorized modes of transportation by providing safe cycleways and footways in urban, suburban centers in countries. California is adopting these very systems at the state and local level. Your representatives need to understand who they represent and how Agenda 21 is designed to take control over human action and what they must do to avert this. Now in California, comprehensive planning is called smart growth. I think everybody's familiar with that term today. But what does smart mean? Well, here's PG&E's definition of smart. S means specific, a defined level of program progress. Think about smart meters. M is measurable. All results that can be tracked by staff. Actionable, action can be taken on reported progress. In other words, they'll turn your washing machine off. Relevant, direct measurement of program activities and results, and timely, results that can be reported on a quarterly basis. This was an acronym from PG&E's Green Communities letter in January of 2010. Let's look at smart growth online. San Francisco is planning a new Trans-Bay Transit Center project. This is a huge project in San Francisco. It epitomizes smart growth. Let's hear what people have to say about it. First, we are coming together to create jobs and revitalize our economy. A new Grand Central Station of the West, said Speaker Pelosi. This is a true statement. This project is the ultimate manifestation of smart growth, said Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom. And one of the most, quote, transformational public-private projects in the nation. It will soon be possible to get almost anywhere in the Golden State via public transit. I guess he didn't know we were going to have our dollar downgraded this week. That's Secretary of Transportation Ray LaHood. The federal government has a plan for the Bay Area, and they have plenty of partners to aid in the task. I'm going to talk about a Northern California megaregion. The Northern California megaregion is designed to be comprised of smart growth built along transportation corridors. These corridors will be multimodals for trucks, trains, and passengers. Now, San Francisco plus Sacramento equals San Fromento, a megaregion encompassing the capital region and the Bay Area. The megaregion is divided into the core and the sphere of influence. Now, what this report does is it intends to motivate and create a dynamic that extends rail transportation as well as high occupancy highway and toll lanes. It's also designed to maximize growth near high-speed rail stations and to implement a economic districts near major transport cores. So what we can see is that this is designed to bring smart growth together more and more. Smart growth is fine for people who want to live on the 32nd floor, but if you don't, you're going to be put there anyway so that we all live in these narrow corridors. That's the design of the New World Order. A megaregion is what one Bay Area, which is 9 counties, only 9 counties, grows into. Regionalism metastasizes. Look into Cities 21, which is taking you into a Central California megaregion. Now, don't stop with ICLEI and exposing it to the citizenry. Don't stop with one Bay Area or the Bay Area Open Space Council, which we'll talk about in a little bit. The trap that has been set runs deep and it's wide. Keep your defenses up. Let's talk about the Bay Area Open Space Council. The purpose is to collectivize lands, take them out of private property in order to implement the Wildlands Project. Here we have a web page from the Bay Area Open Space. I'm going to focus on, there's so much that could be talked about here, but I'm going to focus on golden lands, the golden opportunity, the green vision statement. Here's their website. They talk about farms and vital public benefits, and they talk about needing to fully protect these farms and other areas into a green belt. You see, Golden Lands, Golden Opportunity is a collaboration of the Greenbelt Alliance and the Bay Area Open Space Council with the Association of Bay Area Governments, ABAG. Over 100 Bay Area organizations contributed to this collectivist effort. Implementation of the Bay Area Open Space Initiative is coming. This NGO has identified over 1 million acres in the North Bay, primarily Sonoma, that will be subjected to this initiative. Now is the time to organize property owners and America advocates in Sonoma against this. It is my expectation that the Bay Area Open Space is the project designed to take millions of Bay Area acres and put it into wildland status. Where I think this is leading us to is a massive land grab. 1 million acres in Sonoma County of private land to be converted to government land, which will ultimately be off limits to the citizens of Sonoma. Now that's the big picture. Now, the Sonoma Open Space Council is a member of the Bay Area Open Space Council. And the Bay Area Open Space Council advertises the Sonoma County Agriculture Preservation and Open Space District as part of their effort, along with the Sonoma Ecology Center and the Sonoma Land Trust. Well, let's take a look at the Sonoma Open Space District and some maps they have put out. Now here's the first map that shows the cities and the rust-colored areas around the cities, you know, is the standard sustainable development, farming right next door to the community so that the rest of the land can be maintained as open space. What you'll see is more farms down along the Marin County border on the southwest side of the county. But on the north side, you see not much design there. So let's take a little deeper look. You know, what they've decided, what they call in this map, other project, this gray area, taking out most of the north, is just other projects. So what are these other projects they're talking about? Well, here's another map the Sonoma Open Space District puts out. And what's cute about this is the bold line that runs east and then up north is a trail. A trail through private property. A trail. Again, we see basically uncolored areas designed as other district projects. Well, this map gives us some idea of what those other projects are. The purple color is the core oak woodland. These are the distinct focus areas. The green is core conifer forest land. And the bronze color is species-rich areas. Now, taking these maps, they don't give us a map showing what properties they're identifying as part of this 1 million acre takedown. But you can begin to see how they're going to make corridors and wildlands through the north part of this county. Landowners be damned. Agencies and NGOs or foundations will gain, by their plan anyway, control over rural land through implementation of regulations, taxes, and fees. Often landowners will be condemned directly by government or condemned for the benefit of public-private partners. Conservation easements, be wary if you're a landowner of conservation easements, because they will be used to tie you into knots and ultimately take your property. Understand that the plan of the Open Space Council is to create the corridors through this county that connect the Sierras to the coastline for the benefit of species other than humans. They call it connecting communities. Yeah, communities of species. What you don't see on this map is their intended wildlands corridor, but the information for that will become apparent as their targets are chosen. This is the phony green infrastructure for the control of people and the takedown of private property. The planning director in Sonoma County is a former land use planner in Santa Cruz County, and it is my opinion that Pete Parkinson is infamously committed to the piecemeal abolition of private property. Now, do you think the City Council of Santa Rosa or the Sonoma County Board of Supervisors will blindly go along with the open space district? Yeah, I think so. Watch the Sonoma Open Space Organization. If they proceed unabated, this is what you need to imagine. Communities surrounded by open space that ultimately you cannot access. In these communities, human action will be monitored and controlled. And this is where New World human settlements or smart growth patterns will be connected by public transportation corridors. Vision. Humans as livestock. The American Chamber of Commerce is an NGO. NGOs are accredited accredited for Agenda 21 implementation by the United Nations. The American Chamber of Commerce and the American Planning Association, another NGO, are both playing a role in the Northern California megaregion. Let's look at the warm and fuzzy language spewed by the American Chamber of Commerce. We're going to organize around a sustainable development agenda. Regional visioning for sustainable development. Green building, organizing around the best practices of sustainable development. And we're going to develop the capacity for regional leadership. Let's bring that home a little bit. The Sonoma Valley Chamber of Commerce has a green team. And their economic development partnership, they claim that each year businesses are recognized by the Chamber for sustainability projects or initiatives that can serve as models for other local businesses. This is actually a website from the Sonoma County government, the Sonoma Green Business Program. The Sonoma Green Business Program is a partnership of government agencies and utilities that promote local organizations so that they operate in a more environmentally responsible way. You see, this is the way they're going to cull businesses that don't go along with their program. This is how they're going to turn all businesses into being public-private partners, so you simply don't do business. This is the transformation that they're subjecting America to. Today, those who promote green are the same people who can be characterized as corporatists or fascists. We're talking about a new system of economics where insiders pick the winners and losers. Government today operates like a clique in junior high school. Somebody thought that was funny. I did too. Sonoma Valley Economic Development Partnership Corporation, sustainable business in Sonoma Valley. This is from the SonomaValley4Biz.com, which is a partnership of the Chamber of Commerce and local government supporting Sonoma County economy. Green businesses, they say, are a great fit for Sonoma Valley because sustainable business practices are actively supported. The stream setbacks issue. Now, that's something that Orlean, I know, has been working on hard here in Sonoma County. The Sonoma County General Plan 2020 took direction from the California Regional Water Quality Control Board. Control the water, you can control the people. So the Water Quality Control Board made these comments on the Sonoma County General Plan of General Plan 2020. They support the county's implementation of a 100-foot stream setback and the establishment of a streamside conservation areas. Now, this plan is to include all streams. You know, the stream could be a ditch. This is a way to take rural residential property. They also say that policy elements will adequately mitigate for future development within the unincorporated areas of the county. We're talking about that big gray area on the map. Well, these policy elements they talk about will impose draconian development limitations in rural areas. Basically, they're stealing the use of rural property in Sonoma County. They're using water not just to take away the use of your property, but to have policy elements that are designed to squeeze out landowners. The Sonoma County General Plan 2020 has a water resources element. There they say that they needed to develop a comprehensive groundwater assessment that includes monitoring wells. Well, collectivists and communitarians have been trying for decades, with some successes, to convince landowners that water in California is owned by the public. The core of California law since 1849 has been predicated on the idea that aquifer water, like all natural resources below the ground, belong to the overlying landowner. The California Supreme Court has repeatedly upheld that notion. Landowners must not be intimidated into well monitoring. If there is a water shortage, a long prescribed and effective method for allocating water resources is contained in the California statutes on water adjudication. For a county like Santa Cruz or Sonoma to come in and monitor, in Santa Cruz, first they monitored and then they taxed the farmers on the drawing of their water from their own wells because the farmers were too uninformed or too connected as political partners to object. If Sonoma follows the same pattern, the cleansing of your rural areas will happen very quickly and water will become very short. Now, the regional green police are roaming your land. The North Bay Watershed Association is a group of 16 regional and local public agencies located throughout the North Bay counties. The mission is to facilitate partnerships across political boundaries. Remember, Agenda 21 is about erasing political boundaries. The North Bay Watershed Association collaborates closely with your good friends at the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and the California Department of Fish and Game. Property owners are under an increasing attack, and without citizen support for property owners, everything you get from the rural lands will come to shortage. And that's when urbanites are going to feel the pain. One final message on the land use programs. There's an organization called INECE, I don't know how to pronounce it, the International Network for Environmental Compliance and Enforcement. Practitioners here are dedicated to raising awareness of the compliance and enforcement, developing networks for enforcement cooperation, and strengthening capacity to implement and influence environmental requirements. Environmental compliance and enforcement play a fundamental role in building the foundation for sustainable development. Now, we see the parties engaged in this is a UN environmental program. That middle one is the EPA, the European Commission, and the World Bank. This is in effect or coming everywhere. I'm going to change direction here a little bit and talk about education. The youth are being prepped for global citizenship, and the effort is working. In polling, we learned that a majority of 2009 high school and college graduates identify themselves as global citizens. You can see there are no college-aged people in this audience. Now, that's not always the case, but it's not atypical. You see, sustainability is being jammed down the throat of every youngster. The future is at risk. The Education for Sustainable Development Toolkit holds that education is held to be central to sustainability. Education for Sustainable Development was first described by Chapter 36 of Agenda 21, which says that education must be reoriented to address sustainable development. And they go on to say that simply increasing basic literacy, as currently taught in most countries, is not sufficient to advance sustainable societies. The children are being scared, indoctrinated, and culled in accordance to their usefulness to the world government and world religion. Check out the Cool Schools program here in Sonoma and the Sonoma Ecology Center for Watershed brainwashing programs that every child in your school district is being subjected to. ICLEI has a hand in the school indoctrination program through their climate protection campaign. Cool Schools, we work to engage students to take action at school and in the community and at home to reduce emissions causing climate change. The school system is indoctrinating our children into global citizenship through a commitment to globalist ideology. They are not being taught the values of the American experiment, nor are they being given information or methodology regarding the climate issues. Little children are being brainwashed at school. We've got to ask, to whom do the children belong? Who decides these issues? Look into what your schools are doing. The Sonoma County Superintendent of Education supports green education. He's committed to making children environmental stewards. Just quickly, Dr. Harrington creates neighborhood family literacy centers. This comes from his webpage, and educates students to be environmental students. That's what you're sending your children to school for. The number of times I've spoken around the country and people come up to me, I've had a number of women just start crying because they say, I sent my child to school, they're now young adults, and I've lost them. I should have never sent them to school in the first place. The Bay Area and all of California has been set up as a region to operate within and under a global order. You can organize and disseminate information. The globalist course can be reversed, but soon it will become too late. Our response needs to be understand and recognize sustainable development locally and spread that understanding to others. We are not going to be salvaged by any existent political party organization. They are all in on the globalization process. Average Americans must understand and act to restore their area as the land of the free. Consider what has been illustrated here today. Regionalism, smart growth, public-private partnership, the Wildlands Network, and education for global citizenship. All components of sustainable ideology. The transformation of a global political economic system is progressing. It has even happened. With the transformation comes the end of the American experiment. Lost is the idea of private property. The path for Americans will become very hard if we do not avert Agenda 21 implementation. Agenda 21 people are organized even as their active drones do not know what they're organized around. Agenda 21 shows itself everywhere you look once you understand what it is. Do you think our politicians and bureaucrats are serving us? If you don't, we need to get busy. For decades, globalism has been transforming America. Now the pace is moving even faster. If we understand Agenda 21's action plan, then we can restore liberty. Cut off Agenda 21 at its head. I like to say, cut off Agenda 21, better said, at its root. Defeat local implementation of Agenda 21. And what happens if people do nothing? Well, America will become the land of the collected and home of the enslaved. Your region will become a local outpost of the global movement, all designed to control human action. Oh boy. So what can you do? Think locally. Expose the regional Soviet system running your local government. That is where freedom will be won or lost. Go after and expose One Bay Area, ICLEI, ABAG, and the Bay Area and Sonoma Open Space Councils. Expose them for what they are. A massive fifth column leading the Bay Area down the path to becoming an outpost of the New World Order. The essence of our mission is to restore the principles set forth in the Declaration of Independence. The federal government is where this transformation is coming from. It is now everywhere, including here. So take counteraction locally. Local proaction is our best strategy to stave off world government at this late date. Understand your area's local Agenda 21 program. With that, win back your town or neighborhood from Agenda 21's policies, then move on to a broader area. Ultimately, combine with others working similarly around California. Then expunge sustainable development policy out of our state's law and out of the bureaucracy. When enough states have recaptured their citizens' liberty, the federal government can be taken on effectively. And then we will have salvaged the American experiment in individual liberty, equal justice, and the political recognition of every individual's unalienable rights. Long live the United States and freedom-loving people everywhere. Thank you.